breaking news coming from NBC, actually, is who broke the story, but others are starting to come on. It came from the Secret Service. The Secret Service is reporting that the rooftop where the gunman shot at President Trump in the assassination attempt, this rooftop was identified before the rally by the Secret Service as a vulnerability, a security vulnerability. According to NBC, the Secret Service flagged this building behind me, the one right there, where the gunman was. He was right there. The Secret Service had flagged this building near the rally, even though it was outside the perimeter, as a security concern, according to investigators, and now be scrutinizing how in the world did this 20-year-old amateur gunman, how did he find that building, scale the building, avoid all of the Secret Service, and be able to shoot the president? Secret Service agents familiar to the planning of this thing are revealing that it was identified as a potential vulnerable security risk. Understanding how the gunman got on the roof despite those concerns is a central question for investigators, scrutinizing how this lone attacker managed to shoot President Donald Trump at Saturday's campaign event, including sniper teams that were up on top other rooftops to identify and eliminate threats. Those guys didn't see him. Secret Service spokesman Anthony Gialimi said, but no officers were posted on the building used by the would-be assassin outside the event security perimeter, which was only 148 yards. I heard it was 135 yards. It was 148 yards from the stage, well within range of a semi-automatic rifle that has a scope. The Secret Service had designated this rooftop as being under the jurisdiction of law enforcement, a common practice in securing outdoor rallies. Now, Butler County District Attorney Richard Goldfinger said his office maintains an emergency service unit team, which deployed 4 sniper teams and 4 quick response teams at the rally. But he said the Secret Service agents were in charge of the security outside the venue. They had meetings in the week prior. The Secret Service ran the show. They were the ones who designated who goes where, Goldfinger said. And in the command hierarchy, they're at the top. They're number one. They're calling the shots. Goldfinger also said the commander of the emergency service unit told him it was not responsible for securing areas outside the venue. To me, the whole thing is under a jurisdiction of the Secret Service, and they will be delineated from there. The former senior Secret Service agent who also said that even if law enforcement did drop the ball, it's still the agency's responsibility to ensure that everybody was following proper protocol, and to follow through either beforehand or in the moment. And just because it's outside the perimeter, it doesn't take it out of play for a vulnerability. And you've got to mitigate it in some fashion, the source said, if you recognize that there's a problem. Now, a volley of shots rang out minutes into President Trump's speech. He reached for his right ear and said that it had been pierced by the bullet. Then he dropped to the ground as Secret Service agents rushed to shield him. Trump then emerged with the blood on his ear and his face. One attendee was killed and 2 others were critically wounded. Witnesses listening to Trump's speech from outside the event's security perimeter recall pointing out the gunman to the law enforcement a couple of minutes before the shooting began. And after the gunman started, Then the Secret Service personnel shot and killed the 20-year-old gunman, Thomas Matthew Crooks. The clamor over the Secret Service, biggest failure since the shooting of President Ronald Reagan in 1981, is coming from both political parties, from former agents, and from security experts. My question is, how did he get onto the roof undetected? According to a former Secret Service agent, Anthony Kanowski, how, he said, he worked on protective details for presidential candidates, including John Kerry, in 2004. The Secret Service's work on campaign events like Saturday begins with advanced planning, setting up a security perimeter, positioning teams on the ground and on rooftops, often in partnership with local law enforcement. The ground deployments include a counter-assault team, and the rooftop personnel include counter-sniper teams.